In this video, we're going to represent data through graphs, tables, and charts. Charts and graphs are visual representations of data. They are extremely important and useful as they allow us to analyze data. They also allow us to convey messages or emphasize a point. In addition, charts and graphs allow us to show data in a way that's easy to understand and remember. There are many different charts and graphs. In this video, we're going to talk about three: histograms, stem and leaves, and line graphs. This first question says that the frequency table shows the ages of people riding a roller coaster. Display the data in a histogram. A histogram is one of the most commonly used graphs to show frequency distributions. It looks very much like a bar graph, but bar graphs and histograms have some differences. First, on a histogram, the x-axis has numbers instead of categories. Another difference is that bar graphs have gaps between the bars, where histograms do not. The first step in creating your histogram is to label the axes. On the x-axis, I've labeled the ages categories. And on the y-axis, I've counted by fives and labeled that axis frequency. And then finally, I made a title for our graph. The next step is to go ahead and make our bars. Remember that our bars are going to touch, unlike a bar graph. In our first age group, 10 to 19, we have 18 people. So that's going to be just under 20. In our next age group, 20 to 29-year-olds, we have 14, so just under 15. Our next age group, which is 30 to 39, has 12 people, so just above the 10. There are 7 people in the age group of 40 to 49-year-olds, and then there were 3 people in the age group of 50 to 59. Now we have our histogram. What do you notice about the frequency of the roller coaster riders when looking at their ages? We can see that the amount of roller coaster riders decreases with the older age groups. And the age group that had the highest frequency was 10 to 19-year-olds. The next problem says that the following list shows the scores on the last science test. Create a stem and leaf plot. A stem and leaf plot helps us organize data. It allows us to see the distribution of the data because the numbers are listed in order from smallest to largest. This helps us easily see the mode and the median. A stem and leaf plot is a special table where each value is split into a stem, which is the first digit or digits, and a leaf, which is usually the last digit. The first step is to determine which values are our stem. The lowest value is 67, and the highest value is 100, so our stems are going to be 6 through 10. Now that we have our stems made, we can fill in our leaves. The leaves have to be in order from smallest to largest. The first step is to find all the scores that have 6 as a 10 value, or are in the 60s. We only have one, 67, so we can plug a 7 for our leaf. That stem of 6 and the leaf of 7 makes the number 67. The next step is to look at all the scores that are in the 70s. We have 3 scores that are in the 70s, and we have to put them in order from smallest to largest. We have a 3 for 73, a 5 for 75, and an 8 for 78. Now we need to look at all of the 80s. We need to now put these from smallest to largest. The smallest is an 82, and I have 3 of them. You have to put that 2 3 times, 1 for each of the numbers. Then we have an 84, an 86, and an 87. Go ahead and pause the video and finish the rest of the stem and leaf plot. Now our stem and leaf plot is complete. We can use this to see that our mode is 82, because that's the number that occurs the most. We could also sit here and find the median by taking 1 off the front, 1 off the back, 1 off the front, 1 off the back, and all the way until we get to the middle number. We have 2 middle numbers, 84 and 86. In between 84 and 86 is 85, so we know our median is 85. Stem and leaf plots can be very useful when organizing and analyzing data. This last problem says that the following data shows the revenue of a bike store for the first 6 months of the year. Graph the data in a line graph. A line graph is a type of chart used to show information that changes over time. We plot line graphs using several points connected by straight lines. The first step is to label our graph. I've labeled the months on the x-axis. Then I labeled the y-axis, revenue in thousands, and I counted by 0.5. and then I labeled our graph. Now we can plot our points. In month 1, we had 2.4. That's just under 2.5. In month 2, we had 3.1. That's going to be just above 3.0. In month 3, we had 1.8. That's just below 2.0. In month 4, we had 2.1. In month 5, we had 2.7. And in month 6, we had 2.9. Now we can connect our dots. And we have our line graph showing the sales in the first 6 months of the year. What month had the highest revenue? The second month did. What month had the lowest revenue? The third month had the lowest revenue. By plotting our data in a line graph, we can easily see the change in revenue over the 6 months.